I'm trying to get you on the show since the announcement
Yes.
that you will not be returning to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after 3 seasons.
Yes.
So I'm just curious how this went down because on April 12th, you did this show.
Yes.
And on just 2 days later, there was an announcement that you would not be returning. Did you know at that time when you were on the show? Did you suspect?
I was in talks, yes. But look, I think Bravo's, they have to be careful with child labor laws, being a child bride and all. So I think they need to be very careful with me. No, I just honestly, I was going down the path and, things happened.
So you were in discussions with them. And did
Yeah.
they say, is it one of those things where do you want to be a friend? Or did they give you those options? Or is it, look, we are not going to renew your contract? How does that go down?
Usually it's just like the past few years for me, it's just like, oh, let's start next year, right? Like, let's go again, renew your contract. This was more of a conversation with me. And so it was like, how are you feeling about it? And, it was like honest how I felt about the show. And it's hard for me.
So do you feel like based on this conversation, they elected not to bring you back? Was that?
Yes.
And is that because
Yeah.
you were not as excited to return, or?
I think for me, my family is like the most important and more important than any job I could have. And, the show is tough and it reveals a lot. And, I just want to be protective of my family, my kids. And that's
So
all.
did you then place boundaries? And that's why, okay, so you put up boundaries.
But I've always had boundaries.
Okay.
That's just inherently, and I think that's always been probably their struggle, I imagine.
So they want more from you? They wanted more from you?
Yeah. And I
What?
think the audiences too. And I get that,
What?
It's not like I'm nothing. I'm just, the girls on the show, and I had texted them after. I was like, you guys deserve $1 bajillion for how much you give. And it was, it was hard for me. That's all I can say. But it was a good decision.
So do you feel like it was a mutual decision, or do you feel like just based on your interview with them or
Yeah,
your
it wasn't.
call
Yeah,
with them?
I didn't call them. I didn't quit. It wasn't like that. It was
Okay.
just like, yeah, we were going through the motions of like, how are you feeling? I'm like, well,
Dorit, do you still have any sort of relationship with Dorit?
no, she's the only one that didn't text me.
Really?
Mm.
Yeah, but I think also she was probably dealing with her own contract.